Hello, everyone, and welcome back to round 6, I believe it is now, the Dallas Regional Championship. So it's been so many crazy games, I've lost track already.
Yeah, we are almost past the halfway point
Yeah.
for today, and it's just been great action we've seen so far. We're going to continue that. We have a beauty of a matchup here.
We do. We have our most recent international champion, Daniel Altavilla, and he will be playing against Simon Trottier Lacasse, who's playing a very, very interesting deck.
Yeah, we'll go over it once our players finish getting set up, get their headsets on. But we've seen a ton of different decks so far today on stream. We saw Unknown Damage get taken down by Shocklock of all things.
Yeah.
Alolan Muck's pretty good against.
Yeah. What do we say?
Deck.
What do we say against at the beginning of the day? If they have also Alolan Muck, you probably just pick up your cards, and that's what happened.
And of course, we had the round before that. Israel Sosa took a victory over Preston. Lucario over, I believe he was still playing Ray.
Yeah, he is. And then that was a really sort of like dominating show of force. That Lucario GX is so strong. It's like unbelievable how quickly it can escalate for only doing damage for one energy attachment.
Yeah, and unfortunately, he did take a loss last round to Archie's.
Yeah.
The deck kind of loses to Magikarp Wailord tag team.
Yeah, it's like you can dig for a lot of damage, but not that much damage.
And then there was some other big name players too, but one deck that's kind of doing well took down Ross Cawthon last round. Blaine Hill, related to Kern Hill. And he is playing the same deck as Grant Manley today. It's like a Drampa Garb, but they play 2 Sigilyph GX.
Because the Sigilyph GX is one of those cards that when I first saw it came out, I thought, this seems like it has a lot of potential, but at the same time, there's so many ways to like play around it. Like I'm not entirely sure if you'll actually see play properly. So it's kind of cool to actually see someone making good use out of it.
Yeah, he is starting out 5-0 today, and he's someone that we're definitely going to keep an eye on later in these rounds. And going through, there's been some pretty surprising decks I was able to walk through for the past couple rounds. There's a couple Skeptile decks doing well. Kind of popped up a little bit in Anaheim. Couldn't really get there. I think there was only one that made day 2. And there's actually a couple just regular Wailord. Like,
just stalled, yeah.
Wailord, AZ.
Using the tag team, I assume.
Well, there's one that played like 1 or 2 tag team and then played the regular EX.
Oh, okay.
Maybe just because it only gives 2 prizes up.
So the HP to prize ratio is still technically better on Wailord, I guess, compared
maybe.
to tag team.
Then we have one doozy of a deck. Yeah, okay, I believe their headsets are on.
Okay.
This deck is insane. I just want to get that straightforward.
Yeah.
It looks so fun to play from Simon, and it is essentially a Mew toolbox deck.
Yeah, it would just we could see what it has access to right now.
There is so many one-of Pokemon in this deck.
It's like
don't even want to know about them.
It's like reminding me of SP. That's like what it actually looks like.
So it's essentially like a counter energy box deck using Mew to facilitate your attackers. And then it plays cards like Junk Hunt Sableye. It plays the Victini from Lost Thunder that does 20 times the amount of basics you have on your bench. It has the Watch and Learn Sudowoodo to try to surprise Zoroark players and take a quick knockout. And then like it's just insane. Absol from Plasma Freeze. Team Plasma Absol.
I remember that card.
Not the only Plasma Pokemon being played this weekend.
Wow, yeah, that's been a long while since we've seen Absol team play, but that is a very cool card to see make a comeback.
Yeah, which I believe, 20 plus 20 for every bench your opponent has?
Yeah, that's right. So it's like a sort of a card that punishes your opponent for having a big bench.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. There is only special energy in this deck, so he might have a little bit of a rough time, especially against Danny Altavilla playing that Zoroark control, really just dominating the scene in Brazil in Standard, and just it's so easy to carry over that play into Expanded.
Yeah, especially when you have access to a little card called Seismitoad EX, and you can stop your opponent from playing items, which is pretty good as you go figure, right?
Yeah, and of course when you're in that testing circle with Jimmy Pendarvis and all the DDG guys, it really you can't lose with that deck.
No, you really can't, and that's been proven time again with the good results that we've seen these players have with this variant of deck over the past few regionals.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a matchup to watch for sure. Girafarig, I think, is going to be one of the big key cards in this matchup for both players, honestly. being able to just get lost in important key cards
Yeah.
really can disrupt your setup.
Yeah. And not only that as well, but in terms of denying Simon of all his energy, of course, there's the whole thing where you can use enhanced hammers and crushing hammers to discard energy, and then use get lost to make sure they actually stay gone, essentially, and special charge doesn't help out.
All right, well, this is not a good start here for Danny. Is turn 1 Team Rocket's handiwork.
It is a double heads, to be fair.
Yeah, double heads kind of figure out what your opponent's trying to do, but that's just an Oranguru and a pass.
Ooh,
with the water on it as well. And here we go. Get a look at Simon's grip there. There's Nest Ball, there's Order Pad. There is almost as many one-of items as there are Pokemon in this deck.
Yeah, there's special charge, Field Blower, Counter Gain, Counter Catcher. There's
3 teammates. Like, oh man, this deck is sweet. Ooh, eyeing up that Get Lost right away.
Interesting.
Just having such real playability with Dimension Valley. Mew can really just open your whole deck up to its options.
You know, thinking about it, Simon might be thinking here that one of the ways that he can win this matchup is to kind of do to Danny what Danny might be doing to him, and actually try and get rid of all of Danny's energy. Danny doesn't play that many, so in theory, it's not that hard for that to happen, as long as he has...
Oh, wow. Professor Juniper discarding 2 Rescue Stretchers away.
Oh,
that is
dear.
the only 2 he plays. He does not play Dowsing Machine. He opts for the Computer Search instead.
That is far from ideal.
He's only going to be able to play with the Pokemon that he has access to left.
Yeah, but there is the town map, though. So you're going to see the prize cards get flipped over.
And Danny's going to see what's up. And he still can't really figure it out.
Yeah, free energy prize is kind of rough. One Dimension Valley as well is not ideal, but
yeah,
actually
does play the 11.
He does.
But having 3 of those energy being colored energy,
yeah,
because counter energy only really works if you're behind. And with the way Danny's setup is going, I don't think he's going to be behind anytime soon.
No. I guess the one saving grace is that it does mean that when Simon does take a prize, he can just fetch an energy, and he knows that there's something he has access to.
And that is really going to be the main point here, and the reason you play town map in decks like this.
Yeah, there is a computer search from Simon, so able to find out off the Order Pad, which he finally got heads on. The team
probably going to find that Dimension Valley, so we can actually be able to attack this turn, get lost that Team Rocket's handiwork. One of the ways that if the game does slow down, that's how Danny can win.
Yeah, exactly. And actually just go for the special charge straight away, getting back that rainbow that was discarded. It's interesting that he's opted to use it to only get back 1 instead of 2.
Well, again, you kind of know what your opponent's trying to do, and if they get lost a bunch of your special energies, especially with 3 in the prizes, it might look pretty bad.
That's very true as well.
There is the instruct from Oranguru. Actually draws the last Dimension Valley.
Oh, wow.
Ooh, there is a Seismitoad, but no, just a pass. Danny's hand is full of Lusamine and Versus Seeker right now.
Oh, that's not good for him.
Not good with nothing in your discard.
No, very much so. Looks like there's going to be a Versus Seeker from Simon.
And wow, yeah, this deck is all gas from Simon here. Professor Sycamore again discarding some pretty valuable cards. Special Charge, the other Deep Dimension Valley, and really just trying to go all in. He needs to apply some sort of pressure here.
Yeah, I mean, he has an opportunity to potentially take a quick 2 knockouts in a row and just win the game, but he needs energy to do that, and right now he's not finding any. Oh, actually, he has got a rainbow.
Yeah, he has rainbow, but I don't think he has the actual Pokemon to do it. Victini is one of those that his main source of getting a lot of damage fast. And then we also have the Bunnelby. Bunnelby is a good card to start building back your resources as well.
Yes, definitely.
Pretty much Oranguru before Oranguru.
Yeah, very much so. Just Nibbly, of course, does have that. What's it called? Omega. Is it one of the Omega traits?
Delta, right?
Delta. Oh, Delta Double. That was it.
Yeah.
Because it lets you attack twice. No, actually, I don't think it is a Delta one because the Delta one.
I think the Delta is maybe the attach extra.
Yes. No, not even. Delta was Delta Evolution, and the other one, Delta Plus. Because those like the ones that came later.
Basically, Bunnelby can attack twice.
Yes, exactly.
If Mew copies it, it can only attack once.
That's
but
exactly
it is a card that will allow him to get back a lot of the resources he's been discarding, like Rescue Stretcher.
Alpha Barrage, that's what it's called. I remember now.
Alpha Barrage.
Yes.
There we go. That's again why I have Nick here with me for moments like this.
Yeah, gotta be good for something, right?
That and the nice accent.
Well, I didn't exactly work on that one, to be fair.
All right, there is the N from Danny, top decking that Ultra Ball, and I think double Enhanced Hammer in his hand.
Looks like it, or at least
no,
one.
No, Enhanced Hammer Fighting Fury Belt.
Okay.
And he opted not to play the Seismitoad down. Pretty interesting to see. But again, he might be just playing against a deck that anything can happen.
Yeah,
you have no idea what your opponent's going to throw at you.
He's not going to put down a Toad until he's fairly sure that it's something that makes sense for him to actually make use of.
He's debating, though. Like, he needs to get rid of that Dimension Valley, but that Parallel City, he just might want to save, and that's what he opts to do.
Back to Simon now.
Oh, yes. Counter Gain is another card that I love and I wish would see more play. Just great and versatile and really can surprise an opponent out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Especially since he's playing 4 Order Pad.
Yeah, however, not very useful in this matchup, more than likely, given that, he's, well...
Oh, and here we go. Get Lost. Moving the Seismitoad and the N.
Yep.
And that means Danny will not have an N for the rest of the game here.
He only plays the 1. Wow, that is actually really huge. There goes.
The parallel.
Guzma on the Oranguru, bringing up his own other Oranguru. There's a Versico to get the Guzma back, obviously fearing another Get Lost. And I imagine he'll just resource management his entire discard pile back into the bottom of the deck.
That's one way to play around Giraffe Rig here.
Sure is.
Now, Simon, his only real reliable way of switching out of the active spot is with 1 Guzma and 1 switch. That's not a lot of outs.
That's really not a lot of outs at all.
Usually you see some kind of Pokemon back to help you, but yeah, that Oranguru is in that active spot for at least the foreseeable future.
Yep.
And I think this is where Danny would have liked that Team Rocket's handiwork.
Yeah, because then he gets
cards like that.
Yeah, because he can really start accelerating mill that way. Actually, Danny just passes again.
They're pretty much at a stalemate, but so far this benefits Danny just because he can just keep drawing. Eventually he'll draw into some Zoroas, draw into some Zoroarks.
Yeah,
then he can get his engine going.
Exactly, he's under no pressure to really try and do anything to Simon. He can win without taking prizes. Simon can't, probably. Like, Simon needs to actually knock out some stuff, if anything, just to get some of the energy out of his prizes.
Yeah, and Simon only does play the 1N as well, so he'll need a turn if this keeps happening of just draw pass to where he's going to need to play the switch, play all the stuff he can, and then N, just because Danny's hand's going to be so massive.
Yeah, exactly. Danny looks like he drew the Tapu Lele GX off the top of the deck. Goes to go for the Wonder Tag. Looks like he's going to be fetching Colress. We'll only be drawing him 6 cards at this point, but it'll be better 6 cards than the ones he currently has. Or Pokemon Fan Club. That would enable him to get 2 Zoras, which would, of course, would be very useful to him. He's thinking about it. It's a tricky one because obviously Chorus can find you other stuff you need as well, but yeah, it looks like that is what he's going to go for.
He does have double colorless Seismitoad in his hand. If he has a way to maybe retreat the Oranguru out of the active, he can start Quaking Punch, and that would be pretty good against this deck, although I think he's played most of his items already. The only one that's really going to matter is like Versus Seeker, or maybe if he starts to Jug Hunt later on in the game.
Yeah, exactly. It definitely seems that way.
But yeah, Danny opts not to play anything down. Just saying, yeah, this hand's not what I want. I want a new one.
Yeah.
And a Colress for 6 is not really what you want to see.
No, it's, I mean, you might as well be playing Cynthia at that point. Does it draws the same number?
Yeah. But we all know that's bad.
Yeah. There's an Enhanced Hammer again, but not really useful. Just, yeah, resource management and the Colress back to the bottom of the deck. What could Simon do?
Draws this card for the turn. There's that Absol. Not a very good card right now, but with his bench all locked up, not much he can really do here.
There's Danny finds a Bridget. That's pretty big.
Yeah, I think he kind of wanted to bridge it last turn, but he didn't have that draw supporter to
so he had to
actually like recover from it.
Yeah, so he had to chorus instead. So now with that, as long as he can get some Zoroarks out, he can start doing some trades, actually start drawing some cards and sort of start establishing a foothold in this game. Obviously, not opting to do the resource management, not wanting to put the Bridget back to the deck.
Here we go, guys. There's an order pad off the top of the deck. Needs a heads here for that switch.
Oh.
Tails.
That is not what Simon wanted. And
yeah, so if you think about the way Simon has built his deck, there's 3 teammates, 4 counter energy, and a counter gain. It's very reactive.
Exactly.
And the thing you don't want to have against Zoroark Control is a reactive deck.
No, because like Zoroark Control, it's never going to go ahead in prizes, or more often than not, it's not going to go ahead in prizes. So Simon's never going to be able to make use of those cards because, well, they'll never be active.
And there we see Lucamine in his hand as well. Again, not really that good right now, but later on in the game, that's really what he's going to rely on to close it out.
Yep.
Although I think with the
Oh.
Team Rocket's handiwork actually getting Get Lost, it'll have Danny do a lot of work and try to actually take the game.
Yeah, good. Simon's going to have a really ugly discard choice here. He's having to... His hand was massive, and he just got hued.
This is why I love Hue in this Zoroark Control deck, because you have games like this where, yeah, we're going to draw a pass for like 10 turns.
Yeah.
And then, this Hue can discard, 10 cards from your hand?
Yeah, exactly. It's a really not great position to be in. Look at that discard as well from Simon. That's Absol Gone, Counter Gain, Mr. Mime, Kabalion, Sycamore, and Counter Energy.
Oof.
And meanwhile, Danny just has to discard an Execute, which he wanted to discard anyway.
It's not bad.
No.
It's not bad.
It's propagation. And is that just going to be a resource management?
Yeah.
Yeah, again, empty discard.
Another order pad. Does he get the heads here? He really needs it.
He does. He does, okay. There you go, so catching a bit of a break there. Now he will be able to get something out of his deck. I don't know what he can get that will really help him here.
Well, so he has that switch, unless he discarded it early.
I don't believe he did.
Oh, he did. Oh, it's in the discard.
Oh, no.
He needs Guzma. And he needs a Guzma. That's what he needs.
You can't get that with Order Pad.
I know.
That's not how it works. And this deck doesn't really have any sort of major draw power, really, to speak of, other than an Oranguru. But, I mean, Simon's
I think we learned here something. Don't bench Oranguru against Zoroark Control.
Yeah.
Ow. Man. Not even being able to play that Nest Ball because of Parallel City as well. All 3 of his stadiums are accounted for. There is 2 in the discard, 1 in his prizes.
It's a brutal turn of events.
I'm guessing the Field Blower's in his hand. He does have that Versus Seeker, so I don't believe... Is it in the discard? It has to be if he's attaching, right?
Yeah.
No!
No! Wow!
I think maybe he's just afraid of Skull Grunt at this point in time.
Maybe so. Oh, it looks like Danny finally finds a double colorless again, so maybe he can... He feels like it's the right thing to do. Well, he has the Enhanced Hammer, so... There goes the Prism. And then just, propagation and
oh, man.
Resource management.
Articuno off the top for Simon here. Another card that is pretty good with counter energy.
Yeah, but it's not at this exact point in time. Rainbow on the Mew. That'll obviously take 10 damage. But still no way to get this Oranguru out the active, which is really what he needs right now. There's the Field Blower, so he can discard the Parallel City, and now he will be able to play down that Nest Ball in the Articuno. But Simon needs to think of like a game plan as to how he's actually going to take all 6 of his prizes this game. And I don't know about you, Jeremy, but right now I don't really see one.
Yeah, I'm not really seeing a clear line to victory here. Danny's pretty much been able to overcome his poor start and, in a sense, kind of taking control of this game by doing nothing.
Well, it's kind of as the deck name might imply, right? That's kind of what the It's kind of
No.
no.
I think we see a Sycamore here. He's trying to dig for that Guzma. He does get it, so next turn he'll be able to do something.
I think what he really needs to do next turn is Guzma and then just start doing Rototiller. Maybe start putting some stuff back into his deck. Of course, if he does it with the Mew, he'll only be able to do it once because the Omega Barrage is only on the Bunnelby itself. So you can use Mew to copy the Bunnelby, but he'll only be able to attack once with it if he does so.
I think we might just see a Junk Hunt next turn if that energy stays. Just because Junk Hunt gets the switch and gets like a utility card.
Yeah.
But then that opens the door for a Seismitoad to come in and Quaking Punch. But again, Danny would need access to something like Skyfield or like a Acerola or AZ, which I don't believe he plays at all.
No,
he does play an Acerola.
Oh, okay.
But there's no way to really get damage on his guy.
No, there's no Rainbow Energy or anything like that, just 4 double colorless and 2 water energy. Very interesting to see how this game is panning out. Another parallel city as well for Danny is going to be put a world of hurt onto Simon's life.
I think Simon's thinking, can I just discard this Oranguru?
I mean, that would be the ideal, wouldn't it? But unfortunately, that's not really how it works right now.
Yeah, and again, Danny is just recycling the 3 cards he uses each turn.
Yeah. Winning, like you said, by kind of doing nothing. Guzma means that Simon will finally be able to do something. And Danny's like, yeah, which one do you want? So up comes
which one do you want? My hand's insane.
Yeah. Up comes Sudowoodo. Simon can finally get something going. Yeah, it does look like you're right, Jeremy. He will just be going for Junk Hunt for versus Seeker and Switch, just making sure that he doesn't fall victim to the same sort of stall tactics again.
Yeah, but again, what are you doing? Nothing.
Yeah,
really.
no, there's no game plan of attack to like really win here.
If your opponent never attacks you, is their control deck just better than yours? We'll have to find out.
Yeah. Yeah, because you're playing a sort of counter deck that can go for a stall sort of strategy, but perhaps not optimally. Whereas Danny's deck is built to just do this every single game, so that's almost always going to work out better for you.
Yeah, basically with the way the game's shaping up right now, Simon was able to get that Oranguru out of the active spot, but this Skull Grunt's going to be huge as well. Discards a Prism and a Rainbow Energy. Oh, man.
Unbelievable. That is... well, you could get a counter energy if you want to. Obviously,
Why?
like, exactly, you're not going to, so... Oh.
All right, so the Skull Grunt, he can even play the Silent Lab down if he wants to shut off that Mew and essentially make that energy useless as well.
No,
because he's already used that Field Blower.
Yeah, he opts to just go for the resource management instead, but again, the outs to winning are just disappearing one by one for Simon. I don't really see... He's actually opting to retreat into the Oranguru.
Yeah, well, he just needs to Guzma again. Like,
oh, yeah.
Hope you don't have a way to break out of your active spot. But with your hand of 20 cards, it's pretty hard to do.
I mean, he has a double colorless like in his hand. He can just... It's not even a wasted resource to use the double colors to retreat the Sudowoodo, because you can just put it back with the Oranguru anyway. Yeah. Like...
And with Simon not playing any cards like Skull Grunt, any cards like Handiwork, he's really not a deck that tries to deck you out.
No.
Like, sure, he plays the Bunnelby, he plays the Giraffe Rig, and there are times where you can just remove all their energy and you'll eventually win, but you're not playing Enhanced Hammer. You're not playing anything that really disrupts your opponent, at least non-Pokemon-wise.
No, exactly. It's going to be it's very hard for me to see what Simon can do to come back from this really dominant board state which Danny has put out by, like you said, kind of just doing nothing. Just some resource managements over and over again. Another retreat into the Oranguru, and it's probably just going to be another propagation resource management. And you see Danny's actually just considering the Silent Lab in his hands, like you said, to kind of just shut off the Mew and shut off the Oranguru as well.
Yeah, the one problem for Danny right now is he has that counter catcher in hand, and it'd be a pretty good card to bring that Oranguru back up. But as it stands right now, Both players are at 6 prizes.
Yeah, so Simon is not, or rather Danny is not losing the game in air quotes, as it were.
Yeah, I think he's winning the game in air quotes.
Yeah, very much so.
It looks like a big Hugh here.
Again.
Finally is like, yeah, I don't care if you start to get lost me. You have like 4 cards in your deck. I'm going to eventually win. I'll put back the important cards. Yeah, you can get lost my Articuno.
Yeah.
It's fine.
And eventually Simon can just lose Amino versus Seeker for Team Rocket's handiwork and just finish off the game that way. No matter which way you look at it, things are going a bit pear-shaped for Simon right now.
There's the propagation, bringing back that execute. Again, shuffles that Silent Lab back to the front of his hand. Double colorless Acerola, and it looks like Hugh will go back into the deck here.
It makes sense. I mean, he can use those cards to just control the game state so effectively. He actually is opting to play a Dowsing Machine, it looks like. Yeah, he does. He discards the Execute and the Giraffe Rig, and looks like he's just getting the Hue back so he actually has access to it next turn.
Oh, yeah. Hugh, a great utility card in here in a sense that, yeah, we've been talking about discarding your opponent's giant hand. But if you get your opponent down to like low cards in hand, and their deck's pretty low, like, okay, Hugh, you have to draw 3 cards.
Yeah. And looks like he's opting for Get Lost, Giraffe Rig, Double Colorless, and Dowsing Machine to get back from the resource management. He has played the Silent Lab now, so that energy on the Mew is only really good for encounter, and that's it. Unless Simon has a replacement stadium, which, as you already mentioned, all his stadiums are accounted for, so he just doesn't.
And a lot of energy are in the discard or in his prizes. And I don't know if he has really much outs left to try to like even attack this turn.
Certainly doesn't seem that way. He has essentially what is a colorless energy in the form of the counter energy in his hand.
1 rainbow and I think 2 prism left.
He has to just play the special charge, so he will be able to get 2 of them back.
Yeah, okay. Now he has 2 prism back.
Yes.
But again, no real great way to draw through his deck other than something like Professor Sycamore.
Yeah. I think if he plays Professor Sycamore, he decks out at this point, so that's not a good idea either. And Danny's timed it on the perfect turn, right? Because this is the turn where Simon, in theory, could start attacking if the parallel was still there. But now that Silent Lab's there, he can't.
Yeah, and Silent Lab working just as good as Enhanced Hammer or Fava, just making that energy on the Mew utterly useless.
Yeah.
And there is Get Lost, one of the only colorless attacks he could do with that counter energy.
Yep. I was going to get rid of what looks to be like a Toad and something else, but I think Danny just doesn't even care at this point. He's just thinking, I don't even need to item block you. You're so behind and you're so low on resources that it's just going to work out well for me no matter what I end up doing, as long as I don't just place 2 supporters in one turn and lose the game that way. That's pretty much the only thing I can see.
And there we see a Faba in Danny's hand as well. Something that you can Faba the Rainbow just in case the stadium gets bumped. But like as we know with our perfect knowledge back here and everything, those 3 stadiums and the Field Blower are the only ways he can get rid of Silent Lab. So right now, as long as Danny doesn't do anything, that Silent Lab is in play for good.
Yeah. And that's not good news for Simon, given how reliant his deck is on Mew.
Here is
Big Chorus.
Medium-sized Chorus.
Okay, yeah.
It's only for 8. Calm down.
Only for 8. Wow, I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, that's not what you want to see when you see Chorus. You want to see, like, 11 plus.
11 plus, or... Yeah. I mean, it's only possible if there's a Skyfield in play, to be fair. I think
No. 11 plus.
11 plus. I mean, 10's still pretty good. Like, I wouldn't complain at 10. You know, some of us are just less demanding than others, I think.
No.
No?
10 is Child's Play Chorus. Ooh. All right, we might see a profound knowledge here and actually confuse the Giraffe Rig. But Resource Management's also pretty good.
He's wanted to get the double colorless on just in case.
Yeah.
Back to Simon now. He does draw that Watch and Learn to Sudowoodo. Not really that good if he can't make use of counter energy to actually do anything with it.
Yeah, nothing feels worse when playing this deck and not having access to counter energy, because then you're just playing a fair deck.
Yeah, yeah, it's just
you have to attach one energy at a time like normal people.
It's like, oh, I mean, wait, I built a deck so I didn't have to do this, and now I have to do it anyway. Like some kind of chump. Like what's going on? Another get lost doesn't really get him any further. Getting rid of Articuno and counter catcher just doesn't really help.
Yeah, again, Danny just playing this matchup beautifully, making sure whenever he discards an important card in this matchup, it goes right back to the bottom of the deck.
Yeah, he knows exactly what he needs to preserve and what he doesn't mind getting get losted. He can differentiate between those two very easily. And that's going to be a Plumeria, it looks like. Or is he considering a Handiwork? No, just Plumeria.
Yeah, I think he's just, all right, how many cards do you have left in your deck?
Yeah.
I'm going to Plumeria the energy off the active because Mew can't attack. And then now you're just playing the game of how many energies do you think you have left?
The answer is enough. Like, doesn't even matter. There's
yeah, there's the resource management from Oranguru. Again, not being able to pick up that execute just because of Silent Lab in play.
Yeah. Simon draws another counter energy. That's probably the ideal energy to draw at this point for attacking with Girafarig, just because this is what you cared the least about.
Yeah, but again, attacking with Girafarig gets you nowhere.
No. You'll get losting irrelevant things, essentially.
So we do see that Simon has a switch in hand. And with that counter energy, could make some use of Bunnelby, put some cards back into his deck. Granted, it's not the best, but it's better than what he's doing now of just get lost your Articuno, get lost your counter catcher.
It's funny though, because you mentioned Profound Knowledge earlier. That can get a clean KO on this Bunnelby.
Oh, that's not bad.
No, yeah, no, that's not bad. No, I'd say that's the opposite. It's not bad. I'd say that's pretty good. Not quite the opposite actually, because I guess not bad is like, well, you get the idea. Basically, it's kind of
good, all right.
Yeah, exactly. It is pretty much exactly what that Danny wants to do if he wants to make sure that he doesn't not allow Simon to recover somehow.
And I think that's the argument for Oranguru over Bunnelby, right?
Yeah.
Bunnelby does have the option of just straight discarding your opponent's cards too.
Yeah.
And in this mirror match, sometimes it gets to where you only have 1 or 2 cards left in your deck, and it could be super strong. But Oranguru is 3 cards instead of 2. They go to the bottom so they won't get hit by cards like Handiwork or stuff like that.
Yep.
And just, yeah, as like you said, the second attack, Profound Knowledge, it could knock stuff out. And it confuses, like in that mirror match of Oranguru, you can confuse the other one, and if they flip tails on confusion or can't get out of it, that could steal a game.
Absolutely can. And it turns out it just is also able to knock out Bunnelby in one hit, so whereas obviously another Oranguru would not be able to do that. So there's another Enhanced Hammer as well. Like, no breaks at all for Simon.
Well, yeah, he's been putting them all back to his deck.
Yeah.
So every time he plays a Shuffle Draw supporter, all the key cards that he's been playing now have a chance to be drawn again.
Yeah. Then you just keep using these disruption cards all day, every day.
Now, to me, it kind of seems like the writing's been on the wall for a while. Sometimes you might have to think, well, should I just concede, go to the next one, save some time?
Yeah.
Granted, there's 21 minutes left. And
Yeah.
it's still game 1. Both of these decks are pretty slow. And I think he's past the point of no return to where he has to play it out now.
Yeah, it definitely seems that way. Because obviously Danny hasn't actually won yet, as it were. But I'm sure he's only like a handiwork number of heads away from getting to that
remember,
stage.
the handiwork is in the loss zone.
Oh, yes, it is, of course. Sorry, I forgot about that. So, but even so, Skull Grunt still just kind of gets him there enough.
Skull Grunt, there's my hand of bad basic Pokemon.
Yep. Reverse secret back.
This is a crazy matchup.
Like, it really is. It's just gonna, like, very slowly but surely, even if he's not going to discard all the cards in Simon's deck, Danny is just going to run Simon out of energy. There's you see 4 counter energies are in the discard pile already.
Well, yeah, I think 3 or maybe like 1 prism or rainbow or something. But either way, yeah. Prizing 3 energy really put a hurt on Simon this game.
Really did. But there's a teammate snug help to Simon. It was N. Okay, that might be some help to Simon then. But
well, again, it's just a way to not deck out in a little bit. But he really does need a dig for energy. Energy means he can attack with Bumblebee again.
Yeah,
but if you do that, like if you start putting back some of the stuff you need, he's just gonna come up and knock you out.
Yeah. But he has to do it, otherwise he loses anyway. So like he can't. What we're basically saying is what we've been saying all along. He can't really.
He's stuck between a rock and an Oranguru.
Yeah. Yes.
And
yes, he is.
He's trying to find his way out.
Yeah. There's another. Yeah, finally drawing off the N.
All right, first card was that Prism Energy, so he will be able to attack this turn. It'll be interesting to see what cards he chooses to put back. I think one card that could be really helpful is something like Dimension Valley.
Yeah, but maybe
being able to bump that Silent Lab, attack with the Giraffe Rig for free. The Mew can copy 2 energy attacks now for 1 energy.
100%. I think energy Dimension Valley is probably the way to go. Maybe even double Dimension Valley if he has access to both of them.
Well, there's that, but then like also there might be a card like Switch, because the Rangrook get brought up again, and then you have to play with that all over.
Yeah.
And opts for the double Rescue Stretcher here, really just trying not to deck out.
Yeah. To me, it seems like what Simon might be doing is just trying to make sure trying to play this to a tie essentially. If he can just survive the rest of his game 1 and like steal a tie from a potential loss, that might be the best thing going for him at this point.
Yeah, and I think the only way he is surviving right now is because of that get lost on the Team Rocket's handiwork.
Yeah.
Otherwise, Danny would have closed out this game a long time ago.
Yeah, absolutely. That's actually ended up being a pretty vital get lost there.
All right, I think I see the route to victory for Danny, and it is fobbing away every single energy that Simon plays.
Yeah. 100%. That's the only way you can really go about it, because otherwise you can just do a cycle of rototillers and rescue stretchers and
and there we go. Put Faba back in his hand. We're enhanced hammer on the rainbow as well from the Mew, and then we'll just see another resources management.
Yeah. If he can find a way to somehow get his Giraffe Rig on the field and get lost, just to speed up that process, that would make him win even quicker as well. But that's absolutely what Danny needs to do at this point, because if Simon can just carry on a chain of rototillers with the energies and the rescue stretchers and all that, and just carry that chain forward, it doesn't matter if Danny knocks out the Bumblebee and gets discards all the energy, because Simon just get them back and sort of carry on the game in perpetuity.
Yeah, and there we see Rescue Stretcher. Gonna shuffle back 3 Pokemon, and again, these are Pokemon. They're not gonna do anything.
No, they're really not. Maybe even Simon's consideration for his next Rototiller might be like not even energy, but he could just like shuffle back Special Charge, for example, double Special Charge, and then just get back 4 energy to his deck that way.
Yeah. So the real question for Simon is, can I survive 16 minutes?
Yeah. That's all he has to do at this point to like try and steal a tie from the jaws of defeat, because if he just carries on normally, he will lose. There's no question of that. It's just how he can make sure he survives that for the remaining 16 minutes. This is the route he's found to doing so. He just needs to watch out for Faber now at this point. He actually does just opt for the Rainbow and the Rescue Stretcher instead of the Special Charge.
Yeah, again, just trying to continue this Rototiller here. I think if there's a turn where he can't Rototiller, that's the turn Danny's just like, I don't have to play anything. Profound Knowledge knockout.
Yeah, I think that's definitely the case. Danny got rid of the Silent Lab.
I think maybe he's like, okay, I'm tired of this. I want to actually play more of a game.
Yeah, maybe so. There's 2 Fabas in a row now. That's 2 Prisms in a Lost Zone.
So here, resource management, put the Silent Lab back, put the Faba back, and a Field Blower as well.
Yeah. Maybe even potentially this is a bait for Danny, for Simon, from Danny rather, to say to Simon, oh, you can use abilities now. Maybe you want to attack something else. Maybe you want to attack something new. Yeah. Well, I doubt Simon will fall for it, but it's definitely potential there. There's a Verseeker for an N, and he's going to play that.
Yeah, trying to draw into that Rainbow Energy he put back with Bunnelby.
Yeah. Can Danny find like 6 Fabas in a row to close out this game?
I mean, honestly, if a deck can do it, it's Zoroark.
Yeah, especially the way that this list has been built. He's got access to trades. He's got enough Versus Seekers to make it work for him. He's getting back those Versus Seekers constantly, so his odds of hitting one are very high. But I think he has one already.
He actually drew the Faba.
Oh, did he get it back again after playing it? Or did he play two?
He resource management back.
Oh, okay.
And then Simon played an N.
Oh, yes, of course, you're right, because he did Versus Seeker to get it back, and then he resource management the Versus Seeker back. That's it. Yeah, so, yeah, he's just...
Actually, it might be a Lusamine.
No, it is Faba, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah. I saw green.
That's basically everyone's... when they saw Zoroark GX, they just saw green. They saw money. This card's good.
Yep. Simon does hit the rainbow.
But again, I think this Rototiller might just have to be 2 energy.
Yeah, either that or double special charge if he has...
Oh, yeah, special charge would be a pretty sick one. But then you kind of run the risk of, okay, well, now I need a special charge. If I don't hit the energy again, then I need a... Well, he's going to knock out my Bunnelby.
Right, yeah, that's true. And it looks like he's thinking the same way, because he does actually just get back the counter energy instead of the special charge.
Oh, there's a Versus Seeker for next turn as well. So trade the Lusamine away. Faba your energy. Now 3 Faba in a row. Man, I wish we could just have a Faba counter on the screen. 3 Faba, trying to get to 7.
Yep.
Can we do it?
Like you said, if the deck can do it, this deck can. And look at that, just resource double Versus Seeker getting back to Lusamine and Faba, and then just resource management getting back the 2 Versus Seekers he just used. Like, it's like no way he misses it. Like, this is just a little bit unfair.
Yeah, and this is what people were talking about going into this tournament. This deck has just dominated both of the regionals that it's been around for. Jimmy taking down both of them, and all of the guys with him were in day 2, essentially.
Yeah.
Michael Pramawat playing it, Azul, Danny, of course, and they're all just kind of making it their own, and no one's really shown that they can have success with the deck outside of them.
Yeah. Also, you know how you mentioned that there's if there's a turn where Simon doesn't get the energy, that Danny takes a knockout? Simon just didn't attack this turn. So
right, yeah. I think he's finally okay with just not doing anything, and we just see a pass.
I mean, that works too, right? I mean, it's the Bunnelby's not threatening to you. It's just you just wait for Simon to attach energy, and then you Faba again. Like, just gives him more turn to find the Faba.
Oof. Lusamine again. And we're getting to a point now where Danny's deck is getting so low where he can guarantee the Faba every turn.
Yeah, absolutely. That's unless Simon is able to find another Versus Seeker for N, that's not going to change either. So it's very risky territory.
There is the first trade of the turn?
No, the second, yeah.
We see that Silent Lab as well. Could be something to toss down. He has that Skull Grunt, but usually if your opponent didn't play the energy, they won't have it in their hand.
Yeah.
And yeah, there we see just a pass. Energy off the top for Simon here.
Ooh. I wonder, I'm sure Danny would have thought this, but if you had 2 cards in deck.
Oh, Burrow.
Yeah, Burrow's right, yeah. But
I think that's the only way you lose this game, so Danny locked that up right away. He's like, I'm not going to lose the Burrow.
Yeah, that's that would be pretty embarrassing if that happened.
Yeah, there is
Rototiller
the
twice.
Rototiller, 2 counter energies back to the deck. Faba the counter energy, Versus Seeker, Faba, resource management, Versus Seeker, and probably like Lusamine, something else back. Or just pass, yeah.
Yeah, just no time wasted. Trade.
Danny's eventually getting to a point where he's going to make sure his opponent cannot do anything, and then he's like, okay,
Yeah.
70.
Yeah.
70. 70.
And just win the game from there. I mean, he's already won the game as far as I can tell. It is a good thing he remembered the resource management this turn, though, because he would have actually lost the turn if Simon drew an energy, because that I believe that is only 2 cards in deck.
No, he has quite a little stack.
Okay.
Because remember, this whole game, he's been recycling his resources.
Yeah. Yeah, he has. This is true.
He has used resource management as his sole attack this entire game. And at most points in the game, even like 20 minutes in, I think he had 0 cards in his discard.
That is very true. Simon did find another counter energy.
Yeah,
double rototiller.
Back. That means with that counter energy, there is 1 rainbow and 2 counter energy left for Simon to actually do something. Or no, yeah. 1 rainbow and 2 counter energy left.
That is now not quite in a row, but it is 5 Faber now.
Yeah, 5 Faber. Not bad.
No.
Not bad.
Not bad at all. Oh, there's a special charge.
Yeah, the special charge is not very good when they're all in the lost zone.
Yeah. I think, is there 1 prism in there, I saw?
No, so there's 2 prism in the lost zone, 2 in the prizes.
Oh, yeah, of course.
A rainbow in the lost zone, a rainbow in the prizes, so there's 1 rainbow in the deck. And then there's 2 counter energy in the lost zone, so there's 2 counter energy in his deck. Yeah. So he just needs to Faba 3 more times, and then he's free to just profound knowledge until he gets 6 prizes.
Ouch.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just taken him basically the full 50 minutes to do it.
Yeah.
Oh, there we see a ton of double colorless. I think we might see a big hue from him this turn.
It does seem that way, yeah. He's debating it.
And yeah, there we go. Hugh. Discard some of your cards, Simon. Let's go.
I mean, the stuff he discards, I mean, it hurts him in terms of amount of cards he has left, but there's nothing really he cares about keeping in that hand. He just wants energy at this point.
Yeah. So this card, we'll see a resource management here. Getting that execute back.
Yep.
Don't want to lose it to a get lost randomly.
Nope, definitely not. There's
Danny's basically just going through the motions here. He knows his game plan. He knows what he has to do, and it's a pretty simple one.
Yeah, it's can I find Farb every single time? If yes, I probably win. And that's exactly what he's been doing. Man,
the way he's had to navigate this game because of that get lost on Team Handiwork, Team Rocket's Handiwork turn 1. It's been a pleasure to watch, honestly.
Yeah, it really has. It's goes to show that just because, although his win condition might not be necessarily accelerated, it's still, he's able to find this alternative strategy, which is just as good and is doing an absolute number rather on Simon's board and just general ambitions of winning this match.
And there is the energy off the top for Simon. His 3rd counter energy opts not to play it, and this is where it gets dangerous into Skullgrunt territory because he'll start building up this hand, and if he decides to conserve his energy here, he could be in for a world of hurt.
Danny, interestingly enough, didn't resource management, just passed after Simon passed, and there's another pass.
Yeah, I think he's really just waiting now. Danny's trying to be the reactive deck in this matchup here. So, yeah, Simon, if you don't have an energy, then I'm winning.
Yeah.
If you have an energy in your hand and you're saving it until you get a second one, then I'm going to just wait until I draw into Skullgrunt.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you eventually decide to attach, you have 2 options. You can Skullgrunt, because if he attaches, he's going to probably have another one in hand. So you can Skullgrunt, do that, Enhanced Hammer, the active one. There's 2 down. Or you can just do your game plan of Faba, wait for the other one, Faba.
Yeah. There's no way this looks good, no matter which way you try to frame it. Simon has drawn the other counter energy he has now, so that's both of them in hand. He's debating attaching it.
This is where you have to react now.
No, he just passes. And that's kind of given the tell as well to Danny to say, oh, maybe he has got an engine hand, maybe you just...
Because he thought about it.
Yeah. There's one trade. Finds his Hue again.
Oh, he's thinking about playing the Hue, actually.
I mean, that works too, right? It's always gets more cards out of Simon's hand and deck.
Yeah, it's pretty funny because one of the things they cut was something like Delinquent, which we've seen in their list before, for the Hue.
And it does kind of make sense because it serves a similar purpose in the Zoroark control, but I think in this particular variant of the deck, Hue makes more sense because of the way you try to disrupt your opponent.
Yeah.
You're not trying to go for some crazy sort of, turn one, play my opponent's hand down to 1 or 0 like the Libra version of the Zoroark deck. Hue just makes a lot more sense in how it operates with this variant.
And I think we're going to see a resource management here. And this is what he's doing. Is the same thing with like Delinquent your 3 cards.
Yeah.
Next turn, Delinquent your 3 cards. Next turn, Delinquent your 3 cards. He's just getting rid of cards for him to play or shuffle back in his deck.
Yeah, exactly. And the more he does that, the less likely he is to keep cards in deck. Those 2 counter energies still in his hand.
Though. You know Skullgrunt is going to be on the top of that deck in the coming turns. You know it's there. And you have a hand of 2 counter energy. I think your last 2 counter energy, you only have 1 rainbow left.
It's not a lot of energy, no matter how you look at it. Although Simon is actually doing a good job of trying to just surviving.
He is. Yeah.
There's not much time left on the clock. Danny actually needs to try and find his actual win soon.
Yeah, this is where you see Danny speed up completely. I think he wants to trade, gets that Skullgrunt, and Skullgrunt, these 2 counter energies, it's back-breaking.
Yeah.
You do that, and I think you knock out the Bunnelby, and this is game over.
Yeah.
No, that special charge in hand.
Oh.
All right, this game continues on.
Yeah. Oh, is that some kind of discussion happening? Oh, no, I think maybe that Dan's just looking for the discard pile.
Shoves those counter energies down to the bottom. You're like, you don't need to think about these.
Yeah, nah.
This is not what you want.
No. These are not the energies you're looking for.
Brings back that egg. Does he versus Seeker this turn as well?
Sure. It's like, that's almost it. It's like, what do you do at this point? Just resource management, I guess. Yep, free back.
Well, I think one thing that Danny could have done in this game leading up to it is, you know Simon's deck now. You have perfect knowledge. It is basic Pokemon and energy.
Yeah.
Why not just go back to the original strategy you had before? Guzma the Rangaroo. And just sit there.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of stops this whole stopping myself from losing by doing Rototiller to get cards back in my deck strategy, which Simon has been going for this whole time. Simon physically cannot play a single card in his hand because that's Sudowoodo. It's literally just free basic Pokemon.
Yeah, but Danny's not able to really close out the game here. 1:30 left, and Danny's going in tank right now. Profound Knowledge, does he finally start attacking?
He's thinking about it.
4 cards left in deck. There it is. Profound Knowledge, first prize taken. Only like 48 minutes into the match.
It's fair enough, I suppose.
Draws that counter energy, so this turns on counter energy for him as well.
There's nothing.
The thing is there anything he can do with it?
There's nothing really good for him to copy. That's the only thing. If he had Dimension Valley, he could do that with counter energy and actually go for the Tri-Edge. Maybe just try and lock them down. Although even if he flipped 3 heads, he wouldn't be able to take a knockout.
One prize.
Yeah. No, he wouldn't. If he flipped 3 heads, it wouldn't be enough to knock out the Guru because the Fighting Fury belt.
Oh yeah. Oh man. Do you junk hunt?
Yeah, I think so. I think everything here. I don't think there's a much better thing for you to do. Or you could
junk hunt for Rescue Stretcher and counter gain.
Yeah, just anything that stops you losing, basically.
And then you can stretcher. Okay, so you junk hunt for. See, I don't know if special charge is going to be what he needs, because I think this is going to get fobbed away.
Yeah, inevitably.
But you go.
There it is.
Just basically rescue stretcher, counter gain.
Yeah.
That way you can counter gain the Bunnelby that you rescue stretcher back to your hand, and then just start it all over again.
So time has just been called before Simon started his turn, so that means they've tied.
Yeah. Not
Simon
able
has
to
survived.
take the 4 prizes. He did it. We were sitting here with 17 minutes left in the match saying, yeah, well, Simon just needs to survive. And guess what he did?
Yeah, that's insanely impressive from Simon there to be able to survive for that long. When we were saying for that entire series, no, he's lost. That's it. You know, there's no point carrying on. But he was able to just do just enough to stop Danny actually reaching his win condition, and that get lost on the Team Rocket's handiwork right at the beginning.
Oh, that gave him the tie.
Yeah, like
he was able to play beautifully to navigate getting 1 point out of this match, and now they're both at 4-0-2. Very strong records going in. Still has 1 loss to give for the tournament as well.
Yeah.
3 rounds left.
Yeah.
7, 8, and 9. Man. I want to see what this deck can do against someone that actually attacks. yeah,
that does. I would love to actually see that deck in action sort of a little bit less later on, and hopefully we'll get a chance to do so, given that the record is still pretty good.
Yeah. That was a long match.
Yeah, it was a long match. It was a long and arduous journey, but we hope you enjoyed it. Guys, we're going to go off to a quick break now. We'll be back with the next round very soon, so don't go away.